Alright, now we are starting our Practice2 video, and in this section we're going to continue to look at the Java basics of output and how we can use escape sequences to make sure that we're printing out on the screen correctly. So Java output can be done with either printx, which is it keeps everything on the current line. So if you do several print x's together, then everything gets on the same line. If you use a print line, then the print line will allow you to move to the next line down when you use that. And then there is printf, which will print x according to s specifics. If you look at how it says printf s comma x, and for the most part you will use print and print line. Okay, so now we're going to come down to the practice it, where we are going to go in and put in the escape sequences, see how those work. We are going to learn about comments and how to comment out our code, and then common errors, like in the last video I showed you how if you didn't put a semicolon at the end, how that looks in Eclipse and how it will help you to find those out. So you should have left Eclipse open from our Hello World. If you did not, then what you would need to do, so say you closed it, when you open Eclipse, you should see your Practice It folder. If it's closed, you would just open the Practice It folder, and then right here is Hello World. We could click on it. If you double click, it's going to open it, and then here's your code. So what I want you to do is, this right here is called a single line comment. You can use either single line comments, or you can use multi-line comments to comment out your code. So if you just put in 2 slashes in front of the line, that comments it out. Okay, now if I wanted to comment out more than one line at a time, then I could simply use a slash asterisk, and at the end of the line that I'm wanting to completely code to comment out, then I would use an asterisk slash, and that comments out the line. And so now it will not appear in the program, it will not run in the program, nothing's going to be there. Okay, now we are going to copy each of our escape sequences, we're going to copy each of the escape sequences and see how they create these. So we're going to copy this print line, and we are going to paste it into our code. So now we have system.out print line comp /n psi. Now if I decided to have this Miss Lamas on here, I'm going to take that out and I'm going to move this up, okay, just for a second. And if I compile and run this, it's going to say Miss Lamas. It's going to give me a new line, okay, because that's what I told it to do, is give me a new line. Now I have comp, and then I said give me a new line psi. So now I have comp psi. If I change this to a print, let's see what happens if we change these to prints. Okay, and I run it again. Now I'm going to get Miss Lamas. It did not give me a new line here, okay? So now comp is going to be on the same line as my Miss Lamas, and then psi, because of the /n, moved to the new line. So if I go back and I put this print line in here, and I run it one more time, and now I have Miss Lamas on its own line because I said print line, so then it's going to go to the carriage return. It's going to have comp, and there's psi. Alright, so let's go back over here, and we are going to move this closing comment. You can just do a Control X, that erases it from the screen, and then a Control V will paste it in. So let's get our next escape sequence. This is our tab. So we're going to copy this. I'm going to come over here and paste it in. And now we're going to look, and you know what, I want to leave these on here so we can see how all of these work. So I'm going to come back up here and put this in here. And I am going to run it. And so now I have comp psi. Notice that this, oh, I forgot to change that to print line. So it put the C in the wrong place. So we're going to run this again. All right, so now I have comp psi giving me a new line, /n giving me the new line, and then /t gives me a tab, and it's 5 spaces. It looks like a little bit more than 5 spaces here, but that's because of the terminal window. But you get comp psi, but with the C way over here, and then it moved that over there. It does the tab. All right, so now we want to look at just a regular carriage return, which is kind of like the new line. So we're going to come in here, and now we're going to look at it with a carriage return, see how each of them look. Comp psi carriage return, it's basically the same thing as a new line. It moves everything down. All right, we're going to skip the back. Okay, so now we're going to get this next line. This is for outing a single slash, and we're going to copy this, take it over to our Eclipse, Control V, paste it in. Now, here's the deal. If you do not have 2 slashes, then the computer doesn't understand what you're trying to do. It'll look at the C as being an escape character or escape sequence character, which it's not. So if you don't have the 2 slashes, Eclipse will give you a warning, and it'll tell you that you have an invalid escape sequence. So then you can go in and put that in. The escape characters, remember, or the slashes are the ones above the enter key. So now I'm going to hit compile. It's going to run it. So now here is my single character. So in order to get 1 single slash, we have to make sure to use 2. Now the /, this one right here, it doesn't need 2. It only needs 1. All right, so next is our quotation marks. Quotation marks are used in the print lines to mark the set of characters that are going to be printed. So if we want a quotation mark to be on the screen, then we have to put in an escape sequence so that it knows that that needs to be printed. So we have our 2 slashes here, and then we do a slash quotation so that it will put in the quotation mark. So now we're going to run it. I'm going to click OK. And so now I have this. So, or I have my quotation mark. So if I want a quotation mark at the beginning, so if I want to put a quotation right there, oops, that's a single one, I need a double one, quotation mark, and let's just take out this character. So now it looks kind of funny, it's got 2 quotation marks right next to each other, but that's what we want. So when we run it, we get comp psi within quotation marks. Alright, so our next one is going to be outing a single quotation mark. So we're going to click copy, come back over here, again, Control V, we'll paste it in, run it again, and here we go, we've got our single quotation mark. Okay. Now, concatenation. Concatenation is where you can take a string of characters and add it to another string of characters, and it can be done with a variable. So we're going to copy this. You're going to come over to your Eclipse, and I'm going to show you how this works. Control V. So now I have comp within quotation marks, okay, that's a string of characters, plus another string of characters that has a dash in it, plus another string of characters. If I do not put the plus sign, okay, if I just leave that out, it's going to tell me that syntax error on token, psi, delete this token, meaning that I have too many quotation marks in here. I need to take something out. So if I put the plus sign back in, it removes the error, and I no longer have an error in there. I can compile and run it now, and I get my comp dash psi. Now, if I take this space out, okay, this is something that you need to remember for later on. If you take the space out, it literally puts your string of characters right next to each other, side by side. So if I run this again, actually I'm going to copy this. Let's do this so we can see what both of them look like. So this one I'm going to keep the space in here, and this other one I'm going to take the space out. So now I'm going to run it so you can see what they look like. If you do not put a space, it will put them exactly next to each other, side by side. So if you want it to have a space in between there, you have to put the space in there. Okay, it doesn't understand. It doesn't think like a human. Oh, I should have a space here. You have to physically tell it to put the space in. Okay. All right. So we've looked at how to put in a single line comment and how to put in a multi-line comment. So we're going to comment. We're going to take our multi-line ending right here, and we're going to move it right there. So now all of this information is commented out. Okay. Single line comment only does one line. Slash asterisk slash does multi-line. All right, so let's look at some syntax errors. Let's take these right here. We're going to do a C, go in here, Control V, and as we see, it's telling us what's wrong. Missing a semicolon. Syntax error, insert semicolon to complete statement. Right here, multiple syntax error. Okay, so if I go in here and I put in my semicolons, okay, now it's figuring out what's wrong. Right here I've got this quotation, hello, plus, quotation. Notice this plus sign is blue. If the plus sign is blue, then you know that you are missing quotation marks. So if I put the quotation marks in there, now I've got my quotation mark and my plus sign. It takes away that red line. Right here, this is underlined because there's a problem with it. If I go right here, it's telling me system cannot be resolved. It cannot be resolved because it needs to be capitalized. Okay, so now I'm going to compile that, and I get my stuff, hello world. All right, so now we're going to take this one. We're going to copy it, and we are going to first move our comment line, come down here, paste in our new stuff. So now I have string s equals runtime error. Okay, system.out.println s.character at 15. Now notice there's nothing red on here. Okay, so I haven't written anything incorrectly. I don't have any syntax error. Remember, syntax means how it's written. So now I'm going to compile it, click OK. Now it's telling me string index out of range 15. Anytime we are looking for an index, okay, we're saying 15. This is run starts at 0, so R is at 0. And we'll learn more about that later, but this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's only 12 places in here. So we're going to change this to 10, and we're going to see where that's going to fall. So we're going to click OK, and so now it's printing out R. R is at 10. Okay, so play around with these, add some stuff, take some stuff away, look at how the prints work, and if you have any questions, please contact me.